in Tulsa, Oklahoma, offers few clues about blood buried beneath the soil.
Take a moment and imagine what must have been here. It's like a black Main Street, really.
The Greenwood District, once known as the Black Wall Street, was among one of the most prosperous black neighborhoods in the country.
21 restaurants, 30 grocery stores, 2 movie theaters. There were 6 private airplanes.
Until one spring in 1921. For 2 days, a whiteout burned this neighborhood to the ground, captured in this video, leaving 300 dead in one of the worst incidents of racial terror in the country's history.
Wealth is power. If you subscribe to a white supremacist mindset and you're faced with black people who are economically empowered, it's a threat.
Some call it our nation's original sin, which drove its economic success. Slave labor. African Americans, historically drivers of business, but rarely its beneficiaries.
Emancipation did not provide us the pathway to capital with the potential to accumulate wealth and assets. It was intentional.
Today, pre-pandemic, there were more than 2 million black-owned businesses, many already vulnerable. The Federal Reserve saying close to 60% are distressed or at risk. In Tulsa, the effects of the massacre run deep.
The legacy of this massacre is one of generational trauma. You have the trauma of your ancestors being killed in cold blood. You have the trauma of lost
Il s'est coupé en faisant la cuisine.
But some determined to revive the spirit of entrepreneurship. This blowout hair salon, one of the few on Black Wall Street today.
S''.
I get to hear all the stories about Greenwood, which stomps on my heart.
Coupé.
It makes me, want to fight harder to remain on Greenwood, to keep the history, the legacy going.
S''.
Troy Tyson, who bought the salon from an older cousin who bought it from her aunt, says gentrification hurts Tulsa's small business owners.
A lot of people need funding for their business. If they just had it, they could take off. You have the funding there for certain businesses, but you have to jump through hoops or know somebody that knows somebody.
We do hear about these loans and corporate America now offering money, and is that the answer?
The loans are nice, but they're not going to move the dial. Equity investment, actually investing in the entrepreneur, that's what's going to move the dial.
Now there's a movement emerging to support black-owned businesses. Sites like We Buy Black, official Black Wall Street, and Eat Okra all curate lists.
Elle va se faire mal si elle utilise ce couteau.
For many, many years, this was the fish wharf.
In our nation's capital, Daryl Jones recalls when his old fish cleaning house was the only black business here.
So you were part of history here.
Part of history.
After that business declined, he wanted to pass something down to his 4 daughters, Brittany, Lena, Brianna, and Andrea.
4 sisters working together. How is that going? It goes.
Just across the way, they opened the Southwest Soda Pop shop, a double meaning for their father who paved the way.
Before COVID, things were okay.
But once COVID hit, things changed.
Oh, once COVID hit, things tanked completely. You go from having customers one day to having none.
They applied for the Paycheck Protection Program loan and, like many other black businesses, initially were denied. A recent study estimates that up to 90% of businesses owned by people of color and women were shut out.
By May, we had to do something. Bills had to be paid. We were at our wits' end.
Determined to save the family business, Andrea took her pleas to social media.
I was just like, let me put my pride aside and just ask my community for help. How shop for you? Oh my God, I woke up and it was like 10,000 receipts, and I was like, okay, this is crazy. Can I get a movie applause? Thank you so much.
The outpour of love was amazing. This past Saturday, we served 271 people.
In one day?
In one day. The prior Saturday, we served 20 people.
Thank you.
The black culture is we're family, man. It's important just to show love and show that respect, man. To just know that I'm here for you.
From DC all the way to Tulsa, a fury in the streets has been mounting for centuries. But
Appelle la police.
Daryl Jones sees an opening for progress.
We have many years, we labored in the vineyard and worked for pennies, worked for nothing, and never got paid for it.
So now
is our turn, not only for the black business, but for we all come together as one.
Je me suis coupé en marchant sur la plage.
Prosecutors work very closely with police officers day to day to investigate criminal conduct and to build cases. So there's a natural affinity between prosecutors and police officers. It's not
Je coupe la pizza en combien de parts?
can act in an unbiased way, but it does raise red flags.
The prosecutors paid by the state, the exact same people who pay the cops, and the exact same people who pay the judge. And then when you realize the majority of the criminal judges that are on the bench are all former prosecutors, which means that they were raised in that fraternal order. If you really want some reform that's effective and it's actually going to work, you got to start with reforming the relationships between the judges and how they
La police a répondu très rapidement.
the prosecutors and how they get there, and the cops, and so that they can't all work together again.
It would be very difficult to imagine a subsequent grand jury returning an indictment that would have much of a chance to lead to a conviction in court. Because the defense attorneys in that case for the police
Attention,
officers
tu vas te faire mal.
assumed that there was a new indictment involving manslaughter, second-degree manslaughter, for example. The attorneys would question that from the get-go and say this was the result of political maneuvers, of repeated attempts to force an indictment that doesn't have credibility.
Appelle le SAMU.
You want accountability, you want transparency, and having them go into a secret proceeding where the prosecutor controls everything, what evidence they hear, what version of the law they're told, you can get a grand jury to do whatever you want to. And if all it's doing is accusing people, and then those people are going to have a right to a trial by jury later on, that's fine. But you shouldn't try a case in the grand jury. Grand jury's not the trial. Grand jury's just a charge.
Elle va se faire mal si elle utilise ce couteau.
Admit it. These days, what you need to know seems to change like every day. So what can help you? Welcome to GMA3, What You Need to Know, the third hour of Good Morning America. Lunchtime
on ABC.
Friday nights, 9 Central. True crime. Cinematic. Real-life drama. Stunning. The unthinkable. Follow the clues. The Hunt. True Crime. 2020. Friday nights, 9 Central on ABC.
The world may feel out of your control, but your happiness doesn't have to be. Learn the secrets to happiness. Listen to the 10% Happier podcast, free on Apple Podcasts.
ABC News honored winner of 4 Edward R. Murrow Awards, including the most prestigious honor, Overall Excellence in Television. ABC News, America's #1 news choice.
This is what being live is all about. This is ABC News Live, the 24/7 streaming news source with ABC News. Breaking news, live events, streaming non-stop. Original breakthrough storytelling from ABC News, National Geographic, ESPN, and it's all designed differently for you to stream straight to any screen whenever you want.
ABC News Live.
Streaming everywhere, right to you.